All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are we doing, everyone? Happy Wednesday. It's August 13th. We're taking a look at NQ, fresh all time highs made yesterday. That was some pretty good action yesterday. Pretty nice day. If you were with us after the stream in the Traders Think Tank, we caught a nice long setup. Let's take a look at that really quick right through here. Remember, we had talked about the 23765 area. Right through here, this consolidation, it was right in somewhere right in here. We shut down the stream. NQ breaks that level. You get the little retest. That was the entry, and we rode it all the way into fresh all-time highs. Very nice trade. That was the last trade of the morning for me personally. NQ just continued following that point to just show drift higher, price discovery mode, looking for value. And now we have that same price discovery happening in the overnight session here, overnight high at 39.5 currently. This is this is some of my least favorite sort of action right here when we have price at all-time highs. We don't have levels of interest to work with. We're just going to be focused on reference points. So by definition, my A plus setup, my A plus trade requires a level of interest, and our nearest level of interest is way down at 845. So about 150 or 200 points lower. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. This morning, the main focus is going to be number one, this gap higher gap rules are going to apply. We want to see how that gap is going to be treated off of the open that first 5 minutes. And then number two, the 24K psychological level. You have the overnight volume point of control right in that area. If we see some failure to hold above 24K, I'll be looking to see if buyers step in somewhere in this area down through here, prior day high down into the prior day close, see if we have some buying activity right in that area. And if that area is to fail and sellers can show some continuation beneath overnight low, I'll be looking at assessing the action down into here. That's 845. That's the previous all-time high. Now, if it's a gap and go morning, that'll definitely be one of the more challenging setups to work with. More patience is going to be required. More than likely, if we do see that sort of gap and go morning, what I'm going to do is just stay in cash until 10 a.m., let that intraday structure build out. That's the game plan. As always, no crystal ball. Just have a couple of scenarios that we're looking for, and we want to know what we're going to do in each of those scenarios, in each of those potential ways in which price can unfold. So let's see here. We have 2 minutes till the open. Now, yesterday was an expansion day. Today we have no economic data, just some Fed speak later in the afternoon. So it definitely could be a bit of a choppier, more range bound or compression type of session. I'll be looking for clues for that type of day through volume and through price action. So let's see this open here, 90 seconds. All right, less than 1 minute till the open. You also have S&P, you have ES up into all-time highs as well, almost into that 6,500 psychological level. And here comes the open, about 5 seconds. RTY sold right off of the open. If you trade Russell. Staying patient right now. Patience, patience. It's going to be key this morning. Little retest of the overnight high there and NQ. New high of day. ES making some fresh highs as well. Opening 5-minute bar closes in 2 minutes. So far, that's a gap and go morning. The first upside fib extension at 24,135. RTY sitting on VWAP. If you like to trade Russell. There's that opening 5-minute closure. See how this next candle looks. $945 demand level. I believe that was prior day high, right? Yeah, right around prior day high. Yeah, it's a good spot. We'll be watching it. This whole area down here, prior day high down into pretty much prior day close, overnight low area. NQ volume already below average here. 10 minutes into the open. Back into overnight high. A little bit of a high volume node building out up here. NQ new high of day. ES new high of day. NQ no follow through. Look at that opening 5-minute bar. Currently shaped like a doji. See if we get some exhaustion there. Scooper United. What'd you buy, Mish? Overnight high. A lot of barcode here on the 1 minute. Staying patient, like I said. Staying patient. Like I had mentioned before the bell, if we ended up seeing that gap and go sort of morning, my main game plan was to more than likely stay cash till 10 a.m. About 15 minutes into the sesh. Mentioned RTY sitting on VWAP a few minutes ago. It's catching a nice lift right now. NQ coming into session lows. No hold of the overnight high there. Opening 15-minute bar closes in 1 minute. Currently shaped like a doji. See how that thing closes. Long or shorts? Yeah, I only trade long. Long only. RTY coming into session highs. Anyone trade the VWAP long there in RTY? S&P on its own. S&P new high of day. NQ lagging behind. New low of day, NASDAQ. Opening 15-minute bar did indeed close as a doji. Some indecision there on the 15-minute. Potential exhaustion. See if that 24K will trade. RTY coming into overnight high. Nice THT framework there. RTY. Not an RTY trader myself. There's your overnight high. That looks pretty good. Let's check in on ES. Pretty steady. Definitely a much different look than NASDAQ this morning. How's our profile looking? Volume point of control likely about to shift here in the next minute or two. Up into 24043. There it goes. Volume point of control shifted. Anyone trading NQ yet? Pretty choppy open. Pretty choppy here. What's our range? What's our intraday range? 20 minutes into the sesh. 41 points. My goodness. Benny, love that. Level of interest is a must for me. Heck yeah. Discipline, love the discipline. Discipline is a choice. You always have the choice to be disciplined. And Q with the little intraday spring. About 7 minutes till 10 a.m. No data at 10 a.m. But we'll have the first 30-minute candle of the session closed. Rich got a piece of the spring there. Session volume point of control shifts higher again. Up into 54. Look at this volume though. About 50% of the average, if that. If you were here before the opening bell, we talked about potential for a compression day today. So far, only 30 minutes in, but so far, the action very, very much so matches that expectation. And Q back into lows. Keep an eye on how this 30-minute candle closes here in 4 minutes. There's your new low of day. See if 24K is going to trade. Here comes VWAP. Good uptick in volume. There you go. It's waking up a little bit. Coming into 24K, big psychological level. As we got into 10 a.m. as well. We'll see how that 10 a.m. move is looking. 3 minutes. ES holding its own this morning. Nowhere near session lows. Yeah, below 24K, I'll look for the gap fill. At least prior day high. But that would be some action down into here would be preferred. Get into some known structure. Right in that area. Unfortunately, it's like a 30, 40 point range. The confluence of all these reference points. Oh, yeah, we do have the giveaway live in the Traders Think Tank. Make sure you enter. If you want to win, make sure you enter. If you have a trial account, that's fine. You can still enter. The rule is your account has to be active at the time of drawing. So trials are valid. And 30 seconds till 10 a.m. Much different morning than what we had yesterday, right? Much, much different morning. NQ, new low of day. There's 10 a.m. as well. D-Wall is going to be showing up any second here. D-Wall. I know he's lurking. There he is. There he is, popping up in the think tank. Like clockwork. Like clockwork, Mr. D-Wall. ES coming back into overnight high. If you like the S&Ps, just got a craving for a fish taco. That's crazy. Wow. Fish taco sounds so good right now. RTY a little higher low there near the overnight high. Fish taco and espresso. I've had stranger combinations. Tell you that. But I've already been awake for about 6 hours. So it's not exactly first thing in the morning for me. NQ, new low of day. New low of day. Yeah, I'm looking at this area down here. Price can get in there. Otherwise, we'll wait a little longer. If price does not make it there, we'll wait a little bit longer for some intraday structure to develop. Got a high volume node right here. Buyers are responding to. May see that volume point of control shift back lower here. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I remember them. Yeah, they were good guys. RTY coming into session highs again. There's your session volume point of control shifting back lower. You've got the psychological level, 24K, and session volume point of control right in this area. See how that 5 minute develops. Volume below average remains below average. A little consolidation on the 1 minute. Dave mentioned the hourly shooting star there in the think tank. A little bit of exhaustion. There's your new low of day, NASDAQ. Let's see if we get into that prior day high. Staying patient here. NQ in no man's land. Need some better trade location. Till then, we're chilling. Patience, patience, patience. Nothing to do here but wait. NQ bumping into session volume point of control right here, 998. Intraday structures, a downtrend. Pretty slow morning, well within expectations. I like to see that response into that prior day high area highlighted on the chart. If price can get down into there. If not, I'll be looking for an intraday change of character up above that most recent lower high. Meanwhile, RTY session highs there on its own this morning. It's a nice entry near VWAP. Mentioned live on stream. ES looks like some consolidation on the overnight high. Still has not made a new low of day. Over on the S&P. Nice bid there, Chrissy. What ticker are you looking at? RTY? Are you on the NQ 5-second chart? Oh, okay. Yeah, that explains it. Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Almost 1 hour into the sesh. Got 10 minutes till that next 30-minute bar opens. Hopefully we see some better location in the next 10 minutes. Again, two scenarios I'm looking for right now based on where price currently is some response down in this area, down near prior day high, down near prior day close, gap fill spot, or intraday change of character, some market structure above this point. Till then, just sitting on my hands, staying patient. Hardest part of trading for many people, doing nothing, literally doing nothing. Overnight low, yeah, I like overnight low. It's at 921. 921. Got some Trump speak going. See if he brings a little volatility, a little spark. Let's check the feeds here. I don't see any Trump speak in the feeds. Mish, you got anything? Scheduled at 11:15. All right. Five-minute even starting to show some barcode here. Back into session lows. Almost a new low of day. There's your new low of day. NQ. Slight uptick in volume. Getting close, getting closer to that prior day high. Gap fill spot. The old gap and crap. ES finally making some session lows here. Very nice uptick in volume. Solid, solid. There we go. Into prior day high. See if buyers have any interest down into this zone. Personally, don't need to be the first one in, so Now, like I said before the bell, if that overnight low fails, if you don't see a bid in this area and that overnight low fails, watch for the previous all-time high to be retested down at 845. There's your next 30-minute bar opening. NQ sitting on the prior day high. Good volume coming in now. Love to see it. Prior day close still a tad lower. It's like 932-ish, 931. New low of day there, NASDAQ. Let's see how this 5-minute closes. 90 seconds. Little 5-minute doji there. Staying patient in this area. NQ new low of day. Full gap fill at 931.75. That was prior day close. Keep an eye on that 5-minute. Inversion? I have no idea. No idea what that is, Ray. I'm all about the horizontal lines. Very basic. But what do I know? I'm only going on my 10th year of profitability, so I should probably get all those acronyms into my system. Five-minute may show another doji here, TBD. Horizontal lines are just going to be too simple for a lot of people, Mish. The human mind gravitates towards complexity. If you're doing something complex, makes you feel smart, makes you think it's working. But for me, I'm a big proponent of simplicity. Less is more. Eliminating noise from my process. All right, 5-minute closed green and pretty much another doji there. I like to see some action through prior bar high. The gap still has not completely filled. Still about Another 10 points lower. But as we know, there's a key area here. A little more than 1 hour into the sesh. It's been a pretty slow morning, especially compared to yesterday. It's part of the game, isn't it? Part of the game. Not every trading day is going to be the same. Right in line with the pre-market plan, yes, sir. Having a game plan for the sesh is essential. Process oriented. $15-minute closes in about 2.5 minutes, a little more than 2.5 minutes. And Q right back into session lows. All right, let's see this 15-minute closure. 1 minute. Can we get a 15-minute hammer? 15-minute hamski? Five-minute testing prior bar high. How's our intraday fib looking? What is that? Maybe the 23%. Let's see. I don't even have it on here. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Pretty much just eyeball that thing now. There's your 15-minute closure. Now it needs follow through. Might not be till 11 if it's going to happen. I have to wait a little longer. Back into the lows. Do we get the fresh low? Do we get the complete gap fill? There's your new low of day. By a tick or two. Here's your prior day close. Overnight gap is filled. Good uptick in volume. This is where it gets more interesting here, if you ask me. So overnight gap completely filled now, minus about a tick. And then that overnight low just beneath 921 area. If overnight low fails, watch for a retest of the previous all-time high at 845. Then we have 11 a.m. in 11 minutes. A little spring setup there. Not bad, not bad, not bad. That's the Mish signature entry right there. Rather see overnight low swept. Yeah, that would be solid. It's so close. I want to see what that 11 a.m. move brings. Right back into that kind of barcode structure and rolling over again right through here. A lot of congestion right in that area. Really paying attention to the 5 minute, 15, and 30 here. Intraday structure is still a downtrend. It's a series of lower highs, stepping lower, stepping lower. So even the spring rolling over here, not a great sign. Really not a great sign. That's the sort of setup you want to really go right away. See what these next 7, 8 minutes left look like till 11 a.m. The next 30-minute candle closure. Gave it a couple of attempts through there, but only about 10 points. Did not really materialize. Trailed out, did not hit the spring. Like I said, do not want to be the first one in down here. So picking my spots carefully, staying patient with it, being selective. All right, grab that right. Nice. Yeah, I took some stabs through there. Scaled in. Small winners. Small winners with some feelers. Not bad for a morning of bears. Yeah, this is my least favorite sort of trading day. Gap into all-time highs. Typically going to be pretty slow for me. Session volume point of control shifts lower. All right, all right, all right. Watch that 15-minute. Dallas took a few micros on that spring. Nice. Good entry. Good entry, good patience. We do have some Fed speaker ongoing right now. Or former Fed speaker. $15-minute close in 2 minutes here, as well as the 30-minute, currently shaped like a hammer. We are watching this key area down here. Some sellers sitting at the change of character point right in this area, 970. By the way, if anyone is looking for signals, this is not the live stream. This is not the community. We work on building and developing profitable traders here. Self-sustaining traders, no signals. Signals do not work. Not the place for it. So if you're new and you're waiting for signals, just close out. Just close the tab. Close the tab. It's not happening. Now, if you actually want to learn how to trade, if you actually want to learn how to extract money from the market on your own without some charlatan giving you signals, then stick around, because that's what we do. That's what we do. The one trade I have down, let's talk about signals for a second. The one trade I have down here, this is a 15-second chart. If I tell you to buy, the latency, you're not going to get the same entry. You don't have the same conviction. You're not going to have the same risk tolerance. You don't understand the idea. Just, it does not work. It does not work. So please, if you're after signals, this is not the place. That's just the real. Signals sell. Signals definitely sell. I could run up a very big business selling signals. Don't get me wrong, but that's not my game. That's not what I set out to do here 8 years ago when I started this business. Solid. We had about 10 viewers drop. Perfect. Yeah. Beat it. Beat it. Don't come back either. So 15-minute close as a hammer, 30-minute close as a doji. Need follow through. Need that follow through. I'll probably, honestly, probably give it another 10 minutes here. Jay, your channel is like a trading floor for real traders. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal, man. Jacob. Oh man. Yeah, Benny. Signals they sell. They definitely sell. But long term, I don't think that is anything that is sustainable. I don't actually think that they work for any period that is going to be longer than like 2 weeks. Like one of especially for my style of trading. I mean, one of my entries I exited 45 seconds later. It would be impossible to get that across with enough time. Now, automation is a different story. We are working on some automation, but that is something entirely different than signals because it's on your local broker, it's on your local machine. Trades a very specific strategy. You're not relying on a person to call it out. So that's in the works, but that is a totally different thing. I'm curious if you think we see lower in NQ. There's definitely a possibility there. I was looking for buyers to show up in this area, and so far they're having a very tough time. So basically, what I would expect here is that if the overnight low fails, if 921 fails, I'd be looking at 845. But there is a decent amount of support in this area. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I tried some longs, as I mentioned, in this zone, and it pretty much only materialized for about 10 points before I trailed it. The only other trade I have today is the high, or excuse me, the overnight high, higher low long setup, and that was also minimal points, like 15 points. So a pretty light morning here. I haven't done anything else. NQ rolling over back into the low, so that 15-minute hammer, no follow through. Doji shows indecision, but you need price to be up through that 30-minute doji high. And there's a retest of the lows. See if the lows crack. There's your new low of day. So intraday structure continues to step lower. Another little lower high right through there. And we'll see if the overnight low gets swept. Volume's decent right now. It's at least average. That's all you can ask for. And into the overnight low. This is where it gets way more interesting. 921. So let's see the reaction down through here. 921. That, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, I would view as kind of the line in the sand in the very near term for buyers. I would not be interested in any longs again until 8:45. That was the previous all-time high. So yesterday it triggered the breakout. Let me zoom this way out, 2 hour. Yesterday you triggered the breakout, and today so far pretty normal pullback, potentially into the breakout point. And we want to see if buyers are going to defend that point or if it's going to be a failed breakout, in which case look for much lower. Dave, I don't know if you're still in here. Shout out to you on that hourly shooting star call. Phenomenal shout there. That was earlier in the Traders Think Tank. See if I could find it. There it is. Here's overnight low. Not an easy day. Yeah, the gap higher into all-time highs day is typically, for me anyway, typically a day to be doing way less. That's what we did today. 2 for 2. About 25 points on the session so far. I'm looking at overnight low, but more than likely going to be calling it here shortly. There's overnight low. Now into prior day volume point of control. I think we pretty much call it right there. So if we see acceptance beneath overnight low, look for 845. If price can hold beneath overnight low, I'll be looking for 845. Previous all-time high. This is just a very light 2 for 2 morning on my end. It's a downtrending day in a bullish backdrop environment. It's tough action. That's tricky action. So I'd rather just be doing less here. I'm going to call it right there. We'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank. We do have the TPT 50K account giveaway live. If you have not entered, I encourage you to enter. The drawing is on Friday. All you have to do to enter is comment on the post. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to like post on social media. You don't have to do anything. Just comment. Comment on the post. There's your entry. Boom. Drawing will be on Friday live on stream. If you can't make it to Friday's stream, no worries at all. I'll send you a message in the Traders Think Tank. The only requirements to enter are an active Traders Think Tank membership. Comment? No, not comment in the YouTube chat here. Comment in the post in the Traders Think Tank. You'll see the give you'll see the giveaway link under resources. All right, folks. Thanks for your time. I'll see you in the think tank. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day.